G'day everyone, thanks for tuning in. Grant from Four Wheeling in New South Wales with another video. To any new viewers, welcome to the channel. Feel free to have a look around. There's a number of videos in the playlist, things from product reviews to camp cooking, camp setups. Feel free to check them all out and hit the subscribe button. All the regular viewers, thank you again for watching another one of my videos. I do really appreciate it, so awesome, thank you very much. What am I talking about today? Well, battery setups. Well, batteries more in particular. Now, I guess this comes down to a bit of advice to everyone who may be new to setting up. Sorry for these bloody flies. If you're new, it can be a little daunting. Now, there's a number of products on the market that would happily get you into a 12 volt setup. Mine's nothing over the top. Mine consists of a CTEC 250 SA charger, a couple of batteries, which I'll get to in a moment, and 200 watt foldable solar panel, which I've put another video on the install. The link will be here or here somewhere. That was an eBay special, nothing over the top, you know, not a high-end brand. It was just a couple of $100 on eBay 4 years-ish ago, and it still works fantastic. But yeah, it's a basic system. You can get all sorts of things, red arcs and battery monitor screens, and you can turn lights on and the whole thing. I don't need any of that, as much as it would be nice to have it. I don't see the point of spending thousands of dollars on something that just you don't need, but you're being told that you do because, you know, sponsored people tell you do need it. So certainly not my setup. Mine's very basic. As I said, I've got out of this for under $800, I think, you know, all up, including cable and terminals. And I will be honest, the CTEC charger I didn't buy. I did win that. I sent a letter into 4-wheel drive action, and I used to watch it years back. They had a story about new cars and the cost of keeping them on the road versus the old cars, how much do you spend, etc. I sent a letter in, I was picked as winner of the month, so I did win a CTEC charger and a Smart Pass 120, which I sold because I didn't need that. I got rid of it. So yeah, in fairness, my CTEC didn't cost me, depending on where you buy them from. They retail anywhere from around $300, sometimes a bit under. There's some specials online, but anything from $300 to $400. Solar panels, I think I paid about 170, maybe 180 bucks, if that, 3-4 years ago. They've all come down a lot too. Some cabling. But what I wanted to talk mainly about is not so much how to set it up, but buying from reputable suppliers. Now, I've bought a battery, which I've got a video on my channel showing the install going into my camper trailer. I bought it from a company, I don't even want to say their name because I'm so annoyed at them. I don't want to give them any sort of publicity, but they're now defunct. You can't, their business is no longer. They had a website, it was extremebatteries.com.au. I did a lot of research. At the time, there weren't any product reviews on them, which may have just been because they were still relatively new, but their website looked great. They had a contact number. I emailed them for some advice. I rang them, I even spoke to someone. They had an address in Sydney, George Street or Martin Place or something in Sydney, which didn't really ring alarm bells because a lot of businesses could have an office there and then they just ship out of warehouses. So I didn't think anything of it. I spoke to the guy there, Bruce. I've got all the emails, and if I ever come across them, God help them is all I can say, because I don't like getting ripped off, and I don't like it when loved ones and family members and friends get ripped off either. And they duped 2 of us. So I had a look on their website, rang them, spoke to them. They seemed good. They replied back to the email straight away. I was asking about the weight of their battery because there was nothing on there at the time on their site. It had dimensions and capacities but no weight, and I was planning on putting it inside that big steel box on the front of my drawbar on the trailer. So I wanted to know the weight. They emailed back and said they're around 32 kilos, I think, which seemed about right. So anyway, long story short, I paid my $230 or something, had it delivered to work a couple of days later. The delivery was super quick. Bought it on a Monday, and I think Wednesday afternoon, bit after lunch, it turned up, so I thought ripper. Come the weekend, installed it. I got back onto them about an invoice for tax purposes and for warranty. That's when I started to feel that they may have been a shonk. They wouldn't reply to emails. I had to chase them. I rang them. They gave me a story about the fact that I had signed in as a guest and not setting up an account or some that they fed me, and that's why I couldn't retrieve any invoices made out to me. In the end, it just looks like they've doctored something up in Word document. They had no ABN numbers. It was basically a blank piece of paper with my shipping address, the battery, and how much I paid. I bought a 135 amp hour AGM. Now, they should weigh in the mid 30 kilos. It weighs about 21, which I didn't think anything of it at the time. I installed it, moved on with life. I noticed it was starting to, it didn't seem to be holding charge quite as good as it should have. I've got a 40 litre Waco fridge, and I did all the maths multiple times, and I figured even before I had the panels, I should have got at least 24 hours out of it. So if it was fully charged going to a campsite on the Saturday, come Sunday afternoon, it should have been still fairly full of charge, not lost a lot. Obviously cooler weather, your fridge doesn't cycle in and out as much, but that's a whole nother thing. So I wasn't getting quite the capacity what I thought I should have. Now, in the meantime, he bought one. He was running a smaller fridge. It was about a 20 to 30 litre Brass Monkey brand, I think it was, from RTM. Great little fridge. Couldn't even get 24 hours out of his battery, and it was basically at 11 and a bit volts, just under 12 and cutting out. I've got a battery guy down the road from my work who's fantastic. I took the battery in, and as soon as he lifted it off the tray of the car, straight up said, "Oh, that's not a 135 amp hour." I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Well, it's way too light. Think 20 kilos is a bag of concrete. Add another half a bag plus some. That's what it should have weighed." And it didn't. It was 21 and a bit kilos. So he put it on a load test, which simulates, as the name would suggest, puts a load on the battery, so the battery thinks you've got fridges and lights and everything on, and it tells you the capacity. It was 40 amp hours, and that's fully charged 40 amp hours. With AGM, they say you should only draw down roughly 50%. Otherwise, if you go more than that, you shorten the life of the battery with every cycle. Cycle being, for those that may be new to 12 volt, a cycle is every time you drain the battery down and have to recharge it to full, that's a cycle. If you can keep your battery at what they call a float charge by solar panels, your fridge and your lights will draw such an insignificant amount because it's constantly being charged that the battery in theory would last you 10 years. If you cycle down to 50% or 40 or 30 and you're doing that regularly, your battery might give you 3 to 5 years. So there's a real thing to it. I'll do another video on 12 volt and my understanding to help people that may be new to it. In a nutshell, overnight, 24 hours, the battery was going flat. So what I ended up doing, bought himself I think it's a lithium style pack, a smaller one for running his fridge and a few lights. He gave me the other battery that he had, and I started thinking that obviously mine's going to be out of the same batch and all. So I've put the two together, I've wired them in together, positive to positive and negative to negative, which essentially has doubled my capacity. So I'm going to go back and get mine load tested just to be sure, but I would all bar guarantee that the two of them are the same. So if they are both 40 amp hours together, that gives me 80 amps. Now I have 40 amps of capacity. So again, 2 amp fridge into 40 hours in theory, that's 20 hours of running at half your capacity. So obviously the fridge will last twice as long as what I was getting out of, because I've got twice the capacity in layman's terms. But I'm so annoyed at them when these, well, I won't say what I would like to say because I know I've got a few younger audience that watch this, and I've prided myself on not swearing nor getting high blood pressure. But these scumbags at Extreme Batteries have ripped so many people off. If you look on product review, I don't know how many reviews are on there now, but every single person has put feedback saying they've paid for stuff. A lot of them didn't get anything delivered, nothing at all. They just took their money and ran. One guy's actually put photos. His battery was doing the same. He doubted the capacity, so he actually took the top off it. He cut the top off the battery, and inside it are all glass plates that have been put inside the battery to make it weigh more, so that it feels, and to the untrained eye, as a bigger capacity. It's just wrong. Now, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt if they were buying them from overseas suppliers, someone in China that was ripping them off and not knowing. But the fact that the reviews all started coming in around the same time that they stopped answering calls and stopped replying to emails, to me it would indicate that they either knew the problem was there and they've hid their head in the sand and just packed up shop, or they were doing it on purpose, knowing full well that they were bringing these cheap, crappy batteries in and just no concern. But it ranges on there. People have done in a couple of $100s. I think I read one there, the bloke spent over $1,000 on 200 amps and the whole thing, and it's so wrong. Now these batteries, it's a bit hard to spin around from where it is, but on the casing, and I'll overlay a shot, but on the casing there's AGM powered battery. It's red and black writing. That's the only brand name that's on it, AGM power battery. I have done some internet searching, and I won't go into it here because I want to make sure I've got all the details before I pass it on to the ACCC, but it would appear that they have now since started up another company. When you go to product review, this other company has all the same reviews. People have paid money and not got goods. They've shipped things that were missing out of the order and won't return calls. Any people that give bad feedback, they reply saying that you must be a competitor trying to tarnish our business, etc., etc. An address in one state where their sales office is, but their warehouse is in WA, but they ship from South Australia to WA, then to Victoria, then up to New South Wales. It just all sounds very sus. So I'm going to do a bit of research and hopefully get ACCC onto them and maybe get some money back from these scumbag directors that have just cleared out with everyone's cash. But yeah, I just wanted to share it. I guess it might seem like a long-winded video, but I hate people getting ripped off. It makes my blood boil when people work darn hard for money and they put money into something that's going to make their life easier or make their camping trips better, whatever it is. I don't care if it's a $3 cord that you bought at Parklea Markets or it's a $1,000 battery setup. People work hard for their money and they should get what they've paid for, and that's what the ACCC is supposed to be there to protect. This other company, which is why I think the two may be linked, guess what brand of battery they sell? AGM power. All the same sort of pricing as what I paid, same sort of shipping costs, same detail. It literally looks like they've copied and pasted it to a new site, and that's the problem. Extreme Batteries closed down, then they started up another one called X Battery, which the website's still up, but when you go to it, it's basically a template website. So they haven't even finished that site, and they've now moved on to another one, which I believe is this other company. But yeah, I guess, as I said, long video, it's not a rant. I just want people to be aware that when you buy, yes, if you go to Supercheap, you may pay 30 or 40 bucks more for a well-known brand like Century or Yasser or whatever they're called. But if you're buying from mobs like that, you've got iTech World, which a lot of people do reviews online. Mr. Buckaroony uses iTech World. The young couple, I can't think of their name, I'll put their channel up here because it's a great channel too, but I'll put it up on the screen. They do iTech World. Kick-ass up in Queensland, very reputable company. I just want to make sure, before I outlay any more money, I just really want to make sure that I'm getting, what I paid for. I'm not after anything extra, but if I've paid for a 135 amp hour battery, I bloody hell want one. I don't want a 40 amp, otherwise I could have paid $90 and got a 40 amp one from Kmart. So yeah, just be aware, do a lot of research. Internet searching costs you nothing. As I said, if these reviews had been there originally and I noticed that at the start and their batteries were even 50 bucks cheaper, I wouldn't have gone with them. But there was only one or two good reviews, obviously from early on, and then everyone's jumped on the bandwagon, bought them in the period that they were having trouble or knowing they were having trouble, trading insolvent, whatever, and they've just cleared out with everyone's cash. So it's so wrong. I'm sure the director's probably still driving around in his nice big Mercedes that we've all paid for. But anyway, rant over. Point of the video, check out your suppliers, check out with friends and family, any fellow campers, what brands they use, if they've had trouble with them, any warranty issues, and Google the buggery out of them. Go to product review, put in whatever the product is, do your research, don't get ripped off like I did. These two batteries even linked together now on the solar panels. They seem to be working good. Long term, I don't know what they're like. When they do die, I'm going to cut the top off out of curiosity and see if they've got glass plates in them as well. But yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Enjoy your camping. Thank you so much to everyone that watches the videos, be it new viewers or past and present. Hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and the more it grows, the more I want to bring you content. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support. What I would love to throw out there too, in YouTube Studio, for content creators, there's a separate part of YouTube which has all your stats and graphs and things that look like heart attack machines going off their head. I don't read a lot of it. I don't do this full time. This is a hobby that I enjoy doing and enjoy making videos, helping people get out camping. So a lot of it I don't look at, but there is a stat there which shows you what countries your viewers are from and percentages and all that sort of thing. And I do have a few from overseas, Fiji, America, I think the UK, and I think India or the Middle East somewhere, and it's still, to this day, it still spins me out that people are commenting on videos from around the world. Internet shopping and the whole thing, it just, yeah, blows my mind. Might sound like an old person now, but please, in the comments, when you do post anything, I'd love to know where you're from. So if you're posting from a smartphone, it's easier. You can do it on a PC or a Mac or whatever, but in your smartphone, hit your emojis, and if you type your country, it will bring up your flag. I'd love to know where people are from. If it's Australia, fantastic. If it's in another state other than New South Wales, even if you just throw VIC, QLD, WA, whatever, I'd love to see where people are viewing in from. It's something that kind of interests me, and I get a bit of a buzz out of it, a bit of a kick. So thanks again for watching. Be sure to check us out on our socials. We're on Facebook and Instagram, same name on both socials. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It shows me that you're enjoying the videos, and it makes me want to go out and film more. So hit subscribe, it'll be somewhere on the screen, and give us a thumbs up. Thanks again, won't hold you up. As we always say, stress less, camp more. I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers, guys.